Hello, my name is Mohsin, and in this video, I'll be helping you identify the components on your AgroDrone AG-230. The front of these models is typically marked by motors with green LED colors on the front right, red LED colors on the front left, and the back four motors will have white LEDs. The FPV camera is typically mounted in the front, and there should be an arrow on the top plastic cover also pointing to the front of the drone. The two GPS units mounted on opposite corners also have small arrows that point towards the front of the drone. We're going to be covering several sections in this video, starting with the frame components, moving on towards electronics, including your obstacle avoidance radar system, and finally the spray system. The frame components on the AG-230 include the motors. These are going to alternate between counterclockwise and clockwise as you go around the drone. Here in the front right of the drone, this is motor 1, a counterclockwise motor with a matching counterclockwise propeller. We have the motor horseshoe underneath here. This motor is mounted onto the outer arm, connected to the inner arm via the elbow joint. Here is the elbow joint plastic nut that secures it in place. The arms are secured to the central frame with the inner arm threaded clamp. We have the front and rear plastic covers and the center plastic cover here. These are the landing gear aluminum tubes. These have the right-hand and left-handed crossbar mounts. These contain the crossbars. The front and back are 355 mm, and on the sides, as you can see here, holding the pump in place are the 600 mm crossbars. We have the tank guards at the top of the drone here, the battery baskets underneath, and then the battery connector assembly here with the battery connector base, mount, and cover. The landing gear aluminum tubes are fastened to the central frame with plastic mounts here. And then in the center, we have the flow meter and altimeter radar mount assembly. This includes the altimeter radar that is in the middle here. In the back of the drone, we have the USB connector used to connect via drone port. The electronic components on this drone include the RFD antennas on opposing corners. These will be mounted underneath the elbow joints. Then we have the HairLink air unit antennas mounted to the frame underneath the plastic covers. We have the Ethernet FPV here pointing to the front of the drone. There are two GPS units also mounted on opposite corners. These are both pointing to the front of the drone. As with all our 2 Series models, these drones feature the complete OA radar dome system for obstacle avoidance. That includes 5 radars. The vertical upward facing radar is mounted here with a vertical OA radar mount. And then we have 4 horizontal radars pointing to all 4 directions. This is the front radar here, also known as 0 degrees. And then on the right-hand side of the drone, we have the 90-degree radar facing right. Each radar features a servo that controls the gimbal motion of the radar. This is the radar base plate, the OA radar base, and the OA radar mount clamp or fastening bracket, holding it to the inner arm. Moving towards the back of the drone, we have the obstacle avoidance radar facing to the back, the 180-degree radar. Then moving on to drone left here, we have the 270-degree obstacle avoidance radar. The AG-230 spray system features 2 15-liter tanks mounted in the front and the back of the drone. I'm going to remove this tank to show you these components a little more clearly. There's 12mm tubing in the bottom here, the empty tank waterproof connector, and then 8mm inlet tubing at the top. The tank itself features the empty tank sensor at the bottom, a 12mm PTC tank outlet, the tank feet, as well as our new quick fill lids at the top. This is the new primer valve assembly. This includes an 8mm ball valve, the primer valve mount itself, and the primer valve fastening bracket. This bracket, you will note, is the same as the bracket securing your gimbal OA radar base to the frame. The flow goes from your tank through this 12mm tubing to the flow meter filter here in the middle, out to the flow meter. This is going to be flow meter 1 in the front of the drone, and then from there it's going to feed into pump 1, which will be mounted on the left side of the drone. This is one of the diaphragm pumps mounted onto a pump mount plate on the 600mm carbon fiber tube. From the pump, your flow will direct to a splitter that diverts it from 12mm tubing to 8mm tubing here in the middle, that feeds to more PTC connections underneath your elbow joints. From there, pump 1 will feed to the front 4 arms and pump 2 will feed to the back 4 arms. Each motor features our rubber fork nozzle assemblies mounted underneath. Thank you for watching the component identification video for the AG-230. I hope you found that helpful. If you have further questions, please feel free to contact us using the information in the description below.